This is America's one and only Jewish Moments in the Morning radio program, heard on listeners-sponsored digital radio. Around the world, NachumSegal.com and the Nachum Segal Network, and of course the beloved NSN app. Well, as we said, today is Hebron Day. We know that next week, Shabbos Chayei Sarah, is really Hebron Day, as tens of thousands will be gathering in the Holy City. But today we got an opportunity to support Hebron, to have all the donations doubled, and to talk about the growth of the Holy City, which is pretty amazing. After all these years, thank God, we continue to see growth and real growth in the holy city of Hebron. We are joined by our friends from the Hebron Fund coming up next at JM in the AM.
נסעתי אל חברון, כי רוח אחרת הייתה עמו. כי לכל לב נסעתי אל חברון, כי רוח אחרת הייתה עמו. חברון שלי, חברון של עם יהודי, חברון עיר הקודש, ניתנה לי ים קדוש, מייס הקודש ברוך הוא. חברון שלי, חברון של עם יהודי.
JM in the AM, everybody head to the website hebronfund.org, Hebron fund.org. Today is the day that we spend reminding everybody about supporting the holy city of Hebron and the amazing things that are going on. Rabbi Dan Rosenstein is with us live via telephone. He's executive director of the Hebron Fund that helps us kick off this hour here at JM in the AM. Rabbi Dan Rosenstein, a pleasure to welcome you back to JM in the AM.
Highlight of my year to be on your show and also to see you at the Israeli Day Parade. Please God, that'll continue again this year.
Amen. He could say that again. That's something we really hope and desire actually happens. All right, Rabbi Dan Rosenstein, this is amazing because I don't know what the usual timing is, but to be able to speak about Hebron and its growth and its incredible movement forward just a few days before Shabbat Chayei Sarah, I think is pretty remarkable, frankly, and pretty cool. Tell us what this campaign is focused on. When people go to hebronfund.org and they get their donations doubled and they support this annual campaign, what is the focus this year?
Listen, Nachum, we never rest in Hebron. We're always working around the clock, the Israeli Day, the American Day, all the time. But I'll tell you, this has to be our most exciting campaign that we've done over the course of the years. You and I have been together for not a few years. This is the urgent campaign that someone can make. If someone's looking to make a difference in Israel, this is it, and this is right now. We're always growing. I had a rabbi of a prominent synagogue in Florida come with us on tour last summer, and he called me. He says, Rabbi Dan, I was just with you last summer, so is there anything new to see? I said, well, normally I would say to you, the Mara, we kept it the same for the last 2,000 years. But over the course of the year, we've been expanding in all the neighborhoods, upkeep and expanding of the holy sites. And he came in July. Now, I would tell you that if he were to call me now and say, Rabbi Dan, I know I was just with you in July, but it's November 3rd, I would say, Rabbi, you ain't seen nothing yet. We are the political whatever is aligning between the president, the prime minister. I'm not even sure what. I pinched myself every morning since July 9th when I got the call from the mayor of Hebron, who was standing with the chief rabbi of Hebron. And he said, Dan, you got to drop what you're doing and come to Hebron now. I go to Hebron, to a place I need. It's not even on the ways. People have been living in Hebron for 35 years, have not been to this new neighborhood inside Jewish Hebron. I mean, it's incredible.
Where is it exactly? Like, if I've been where would I have a familiarity with where it is?
Right. So after you pass the Mara, after you pass Avram Avinu, after you go up the hill to Tel Rameda,
Right.
99% of the time you make a left and you go to the area where Rav Simcha will talk to you about. This is where the deal of eternity between Ephron and Abraham Avinu went down. At the top of the hill, you make a left. But no, here you make a right. You pass the ancient Jewish cemetery. You pass the Chabad cemetery for Menucha Rachel. And then there's a plot of land that was always in Jewish hands, but nobody ever had the guts to develop. Now we had the full green light. I get there. They're practically dropping mobile homes on top of my head while I'm trying to record the video over this historic moment. And that was in July, and it was very nice, and we're very excited, and eventually families are going to move in. Fast forward to my last trip to the States, and they called me. They said, "You got to come here. Families are moving in right now." I said, "I can't get to JFK fast enough." But new families, young families have moved in, and if you want to meet them, you can go on to the website and look at the video. We interviewed a couple of them. Beautiful, amazing families, really shlichim and of Am Yisrael. Very inspiring. But of course, they can't do everything by themselves, and therefore that's where the Hebron Fund comes in to make things happen.
And do we have a statistic? We've started with how many families, how many mobile homes in July of this year?
There are 3 families there right now. There was a waiting list. I was actually, after that, I went to the secretary's office, and the phone is ringing off the hook, and they're saying, people are calling up, please choose me. I want to move in. It was incredible. But obviously, they need security. They need, all kinds of things that we'll discuss over the course of the call. And so, we got to help out these families. But definitely, you should watch the video, and you'll meet these incredible families. They're just, I really have no words to describe them.
Well, the commitment that people make to Hebron is pretty amazing. All right, Dan Rosenstein with us. He's executive director of the Hebron Fund. Go to hebronfund.org, hebronfund.org. Be as generous as possible. Every single donation is, in fact, doubled. It's a very exciting time in Hebron. We talk about growth. We talk about the potential for growth. And finally, so many of the things that we've worked for all these years and that people have donated for all these years would always seem to go at sometimes, slower than we really wish they would. Now things are really accelerating, as you hear, and at a moment's notice, it seems that the city of Hebron, the Jewish community of Hebron, is continuing to expand. So now is a good time to make that investment. Go to hebronfund.org and have your donation doubled and have a real impact on the future of the holy city of Hebron. Rabbi Simcha Hochbaum was with us. Rabbi Hochbaum, of course, is director of tourism in Hebron. He's getting ready for a very big Shabbat next week. But aside from Chai Yisaro, which is once a year, he also could tell us what's happening on a daily basis in the holy city. Rabbi Simcha Hochbaum, welcome back to JM in the AM.
Hey, Boker Tov, Nachum. It's great to hear from you.
I appreciate that, and it's always a pleasure to speak to you. You have witnessed, how many years are you living in Hebron now?
We, Baruch Hashem, hit 30 years now. We were privileged 30 years to be in the second holiest city, from the Lower East Side to the downtown Hebron.
I like the way you put that. I cannot believe it's 30 years, but that's pretty amazing. And am I right that sometimes it would be frustrating about the pace of development? Things would go a lot slower than very anxious people like us would have liked, and now it seems things are accelerating a bit, things are going a bit faster?
Yes, so for sure, that is always the greatest frustration in the community, that even something that should be so natural, we'll call natural growth, children who grew up in Hebron, got married, wanted to stay in the area, weren't able to. There was a great demand and lack of supply. And now today, Baruch Hashem, due to all the different political alliances from both America and Israel, and with different types of headspace from the soldiers and the different leaders of the army today, many of them went through the religious Zionist school system and did Hesdi Yeshivot or Mechinot. We've been getting so much green lights, and whether it's in the new neighborhood that Dan described, right by past the cave of Menucha Rachel Slanim, has a rich Chabad history over there. 180 Hasidim were buried. Unfortunately, the whole cemetery was destroyed in 29. And now, Baruch Hashem, it's literally like singing Tchiyat HaMetim, the resurrection of the dead, that everything's coming back to life, and there's young children playing there, and there's young families, to the degree that one family is actually living on a bus, a school bus, an abandoned school bus, with 6 children, and they have like a little curtain dividing up the rooms, and they have such a sparkle in their eyes to dream of being able to live in Hebron. It's so exciting for them. And thank God there's other things all over Hebron happening, some to speak about, some you have to come and see, but there is expansion all over.
Oh, the pioneering spirit amongst the youth and those who are not so young anymore in Hebron is simply remarkable. Rabbi Simcha Hochbaum is with us. So what about, I mean, we know that you direct tourism, and obviously you're doing this on a regular basis. Are we, and we also know that the last couple of years have been very challenging in general, tourism, etc. What's happening now? Are there people still visiting Hebron on a regular basis?
So as you mentioned, Nachum, during the COVID and during the war of October 7th, it was very, very hard to get to Israel. It was very hard for people to lack of flights and sometimes lack of clarity of being able to get back, etc. And tourism unfortunately fell tremendously. But the very second COVID was over, we had our strongest year ever. Wow. The Jewish people were hungry to come back. And that year till October 7th was more tourists than ever. And so too now, once there were flights and else, not only Alal was flying, but some of the other airlines started to fly, people jumped on the opportunity both in the summer, over Sukkot. So really from July 15th, like 2 weeks after the missiles stopped falling from Iran, it was amazing to see the love and Mesiras Nefesh. Flights aren't cheap. Hotels are definitely not cheap. And people come despite it, all the obstacles, with so much love, and it gives us tremendous chizuk. Every visitor and every person that visits Hebron.
Was there a nice musical presentation in Hebron on Sukkot?
The Hala was higher than high, Ad Lev HaShamayim, and it reached really a very, very special place. So Shmuel Eliyahu, together with many of his followers, Rav Shlomo's Nagunim, and his yard site's coming up this Friday. Yep. It was really something, 5,000 people, without exaggeration. People coming for Vatican and traveling sometimes 2-3 hours just to be there. And it's amazing. The whole field of the Machpelah literally rises up, and the singing and the dancing and the oneness between all different types of Jews together. It was really something, a little taste of the day after. Yeah,
there's something unique about Hebron and the unity that that prevails when Hebron goes through its daily activities is pretty amazing. And obviously, as you hear Simcha Hochbaum say, welcoming Jews from around the world to come and experience it. Hebronfund.org gives everyone an opportunity to arrange for a journey to Hebron. Hebronfund.org gives everyone a chance to register for Chayei Sarah, which is next Shabbat. But also today, Hebronfund.org gives us an opportunity to financially support the work, the holy work of the Jewish community of Hebron, to support the expansions, that's what I'm calling it, the growth and expansion of the Jewish community of Hebron that we are emphasizing here today. And every time you give a donation to this current campaign at Hebronfund.org, that donation is doubled by generous supporters. And obviously, we want our friends in Hebron to have a very successful campaign and a great day today. So everybody out there within the sound of my voice, if you, like myself, are somebody who understands the importance of the expansion of the Jewish community of Hebron, go to Hebronfund.org, Hebronfund.org, and every single donation will be doubled. Rabbi Simcha Hochbaum, why not tell us about the expansion and why it is so important, why it's so vital, what it says about the Jewish people if, in fact, the Jewish community of Hebron continues to expand?
And first of all, in a very, very spiritual realm, there's a verse in the book of Malachi that says, God will become great upon the borders of Israel. We all know that the name of Hashem needs a vessel, so to say, to be able to dwell within. When the borders of Israel are complete and Israel is growing and expanding and spreading out, so to say, God's name also becomes great and expansive in the land of Israel. But any form of growth is also the strongest statement. October 7th is all about wiping us out, diminishing us, making us, trying to scare us to leave Otef Aza, to leave the south, and to try to put a fear into us. The response always has to be In the same way, what the enemy's trying to do, we have to respond. And there's a verse that says in the book of Exodus, the more they afflicted us, the stronger we become. And the more we spread out, the more we grow. And therefore, today especially, you could see from the road from Gush Etzion to Kiryat Arba now, many, many hilltops that was filled with Arab villages of El Arub, Beit Umar, Chalchul, Sa'ir. Now little pockets of little hilltops where young Jews, graduates of Kiryat Arba, Hebron, are living. Kibbutz Shemeshesh, when Nati Azari was murdered, Baruch Hashem, families are now going back up there. 10 trailers just were placed there. We have in the Avram Avinu neighborhood 3 trailers on top of the old marketplace, and now young couples are living there. And this really is a statement both within the Jewish nation and to the world that no terror in the world, no October 7th in the world will weaken us, will break us. We're going to continue to grow and get stronger and stronger.
Wow. This is not just a statement on behalf of what's happening in Hebron. It's a statement for the entire Jewish people, especially those in Israel. And that is that we will not back down, and that is that we're going to make sure to have a bright future as long as communities like the Jewish community of Hebron continue to expand and continue to leave their mark on the community, no matter what the enemy says, no matter what the enemy does. And by the way, Reb Simcha Hachban, we mentioned earlier 30 years in Hebron, which is just amazing, a staggering figure. And we also mentioned that, things move slower than we would like. But the reality is, as you look back at 30 years, look how different the city looks compared to 3 decades ago. Do you ever sometimes marvel at just how much growth there has been over all these years?
It's tremendous, tremendous. A lot of times we want everything instant. Sometimes we want food to be heated up instantly in a microwave. We have soup that you just have to add hot water to. Instant. And even sometimes people see redemption as instant. Mashiach now, peace now, this now, that now. Everything now. Hostages now. But sometimes the process is a little bit, it's a process, and it's a talich, and it's a ray of light, and another ray of light, another ray of light. And those who stay with the game, those who don't leave in the middle of the game and quit, they stay and they watch and they see the progress happening. Yes, sometimes there are setbacks, sometimes there are difficulties, sometimes there are challenges, no question. But the tzaddik falls and he gets right back up, but he doesn't just go back to his place. He gets stronger and stronger. And this is what the people of Hebron are all about, watching the Geula unravel, watching the settlement of the land of Israel, watching the Jewish nation return to its roots and connect in such a deep way.
And as you've always reminded us, the American Jewish community and the diaspora Jewish community, people listening around the world, have always been very generous, and today is a good example. You need the help of everybody around the world. This can't just be on the residents of Hebron. Everybody has to pitch in. Everybody has to have their donation doubled. Everybody has to do whatever they can to make sure Hebron moves forward in a very strong fashion.
Yes, we all have to really follow in Avram Avinu's footsteps. And Avram was the attribute of chesed, of kindness, extrovertiveness, giving, nonstop giving. And we have to really, it's nice to root. It's nice to say kol hakavod. We really salute you. But now we need more than just good words. We also need active support. So please, everyone, let's open our hearts, open our pockets, and really give to the Jewish community of Hebron. Hebron Fund, HEBRON.org. And you could go onto the link and donate to the Jewish community of Hebron. Enjoy
every day in Hebron, but especially next week. Chai Sarah is coming up. I know you were looking forward to welcoming thousands from around the world.
Yeah, every year. It never loses. It's always special. And there's always new faces and new people and such excitement and palpitation. Living with the times, living with the portion of the week. And being able to read chapter 23, 24, the book of Genesis, to read the Parsha, the acquisition of the Marat HaMachpelah, Yitzhak Avinu praying in the field of the Machpelah, and so much more that is alluded to, of Sarai Menu being buried and Avram being buried in the Marat HaMachpelah. We invite everyone that's available to try to sign up for that Shabbos. It's a Shabbat of a lifetime, a transformational Shabbat, something that you could, unless you're here, you can't really explain what one experiences and what one feels when he's here davening and reading the portion of the week.
Kol hakavod, Reb Simcha. Thanks so much for joining us. You're listening to a very, very special hour. We're asking everybody out there who's tuned in, everybody out there who's on the social media and likes to spread the word about really important campaigns, participate with us. Go to the website, hebronfund.org, hebronfund.org. Hebron.org. We continue to hear from our guests how the incredible expansion of the Jewish community of Hebron continues at what we now call a rapid pace, certainly rapid compared to what we've been used to in the past. The Jewish community of Hebron is now growing again the fastest it ever has. Young couples and families are moving in. More and more people are on waiting lists wanting to move in. They need the funds to continue to make this happen. Hebronfund.org, Hebronfund.org. Every single donation is doubled. And on top of that, if you'd like to register for next Shabbat Chayei Sarah, you could use the same website, Hebronfund.org. Yoni Bleichbart is with us, and Yoni, of course, is Director of Security for the Holy City of Hebron. He always updates us as to what the immediate concerns are for the community of Hebron. Yoni, a pleasure to welcome you back to JM in the AM.
Shalom Nachum, how are you? Is your carry-on already prepared for Chayei Sarah?
You know, as Simcha was talking about it, I'm saying to myself, it's been too long. It's been too long since I've been there, and I am very jealous of the tens of thousands that are going to be there next Shabbat. Yoni, you always update us in terms of what the immediate security needs are. There are people out there who are looking for specific projects, specific security equipment that you might be in need of. What's the story today in 2025? What is it that the Holy City and the Jewish community of Hebron needs?
Okay, so as Rabbi Dan and Rabbi Simcha told before, we're able to settle lands that were not available to us for the past hundreds of years.
Wow.
And now this new neighborhood of Netzach David is the most western neighborhood in Hebron. It borders with a Muslim mosque and a Muslim girls' school. In order to secure this neighborhood and to provide the little kids with maximum security and help the IDF. And yes, I'm saying helping the IDF because, you know, we're fortunate to have a lot of houses and a lot of caravans spread out throughout the hilltops. And the army is, you know, they can't place a soldier in every hilltop. So we have to help them out by putting the security cameras with military protocol, floodlights, with helping the first responders, our first responders team, and outfitting the security guards. That's our main mission for this new neighborhood.
Yoni Bleichbart is with us. You can go to Hebronfund.org and give generously, Hebronfund.org. And also, Rabbi Dan is available at the phone number if you do want to speak to him about a specific project when it comes to securing the holy city of Hebron, 718-677-6886, 718-677-6886. Yoni, we've always discussed, and it's pretty obvious, I think, to anybody who has visited Hebron, and even those who haven't, how sensitive the security situation is. There's an impression out there that because of the aftermath of October 7th, and because the enemy saw the strength of Tzahal, the strength of the IDF, and the seriousness with which the IDF takes security in every city, but including Hebron, that things have been a little calmer, a little more quiet. Is any of that true?
So thank God things have become more calmer and quieter, but that's not because the Arabs are seeking for peace. It's because the army is very much determined. Things that they've never done, that they haven't done before, they're doing it now because of October 7th. And the people around Israel are feeling it. I have to tell you that we're up almost 100% of people coming in to visit Hebron.
Wow.
We just finished the months of Elul and Tishrei, where over 210,000 people came to Ma'arat HaMachpelah. That's a record-breaking crowd, and next year we're going to break it. We're going to break it even more.
What do you think your numbers will be next week?
Over 50,000.
Over 50,000. I remember the days when we spoke about 10 or 20. You think they'll be over 50?
Yes, I remember the days in which I slept in my bed on Chayei Sarah, but it doesn't happen now.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, that's a very long time ago.
Yoni Blackbart is with us. He encourages everybody, as do I, to go to HebronFund.org. Today's the day. Today's the day of their double campaign. HebronFund.org. Give as generously as possible. Know that every single dollar you give is doubled. And now we have a real opportunity. We've always had an opportunity to support the expansion and growth of the Jewish community of Hebron, but now, in front of our very eyes, as everybody has described so far during this hour, in front of our very eyes, the expansion is taking place at a relatively rapid pace compared to what it used to be. And everyone now can have a role in increasing that footprint, the Jewish footprint in the holy city of Hebron. And of course, if you want to register for next week and get information about Chayei Sarah, you could use the website as well, HebronFund.org, HebronFund.org. Yoni, it's funny, you talked about sleeping in your bed, Chayei Sarah. There was also a time when your security force, the people who helped you, was pretty limited, right? Just a few people. Now I would have to assume that you need a lot of people in order to get this whole project done.
That's correct, very much correct. It's become a very big event, and with the amount of guests that are coming in, we're in, everybody's on duty that Shabbos.
Oh, that I agree. But I'm saying even year round, it's probably become so much more because now look at the Avram Avinu neighborhood. Look at what's happening on Tel Romeda. Look at some of the properties that have been purchased on the other side of Hebron. And it just, the area has become so much larger, even during the regular year. I guess you have to pay you and your staff have to pay so much more attention to what's going on and what the enemy might be trying to do.
Absolutely, but that's the good problems,
right?
I want to be bored, but that's when the enemy is defeated. But until then, I'd like to be very busy by visiting and creating new neighborhoods around the Hebron, around Hebron and around the hilltops.
No, I get that, but even when we hear about these three families in the Tel Romeda area, the expanded area, I mean, you have to sit down and develop a plan, right? You need to sit down, and I know Tzahal's obviously involved, but you need to sit down and develop a plan of what's needed on a daily basis when young families move in.
Yeah, absolutely. We're working nonstop, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Yeah, it's not, it's not a cliche. It's that's reality. But we're privileged. We're privileged to settle the land. We're privileged to bring in more people to Hebron. That's our mission. We can't, these are historical times.
Sometimes when you're living through the historical times, you lose perspective and you don't realize it, but how right you are, Yoni Blackbart, could you help me encourage everybody to support the Jewish community of Hebron? Your specific area of expertise is, of course, security. Everything that you have spoken about this morning and that you have not spoken about this morning needs funding, needs financial backing. That's why we're recommending that everyone go to HebronFund.org and give generously, because every dollar they give today during the campaign is going to be doubled. Yoni, could you ask everybody out there to pay careful attention to the security needs of Hebron and to help out as much as possible?
Yes, please do. Every camera that we put in not only secures the area but saves lives. And each floodlight, each security vest that we invest in brings in many, many more people to Hebron, enables us to develop unmanned land and put in more caravans over there.
Right.
When the army sees that the situation is calm, they're letting us build much more. And that's because of the good security situation that is developed by all of our systems.
Unbelievable. Incredible work that you continue to do. You should continue to have much hatzlacha. Enjoy next Shabbat as much as you can. And thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Nachum.
Yoni Blackbart heads the security team in Hebron, and as you heard, every time there is an expansion and every time there is a family that moves in, every time a young couple decides to be part of this unique Jewish experience of building Hebron, the security needs, as you can imagine, only grow. They only become even more serious and even more important to financially support. So those of you out there, no matter what angle it will convince you to support the holy city of Hebron, do so now. And if that's your angle, you want to help with security needs, that's a good one. Just go to the website at hebronfund.org, Hebron fund.org. Dial the number 718-677-6886. You can actually speak to Rabbi Dan and his staff about specific security projects and things that need to be developed in Hebron. We speak to Rabbi Dan later. I'm sure we'll talk about that, about some of the things that he envisions that the community in Hebron needs. All of this can be sponsored by people from around the world, including yourself. Go to hebronfund.org, hebronfund.org. If you give today during the campaign, every single dollar you give is doubled, and that is pretty remarkable. Yishai Fleischer is with us. Our wonderful friend Yishai Fleischer is, of course, international spokesperson for the holy city of Hebron, and he joins us on this Monday during the Hebron campaign day here at JM in the AM. Yishai, a pleasure to welcome you back to JM in the AM.
Great to be with you, Nachum. How are you?
Baruch Hashem. So, how are we doing, Yishai? How are things going?
We're great over here. I heard you're having an election over there.
You heard about that?
In New York City. I heard something about that.
It does seem like
right?
It does seem like the whole world is paying attention to what's happening here, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. But listen, the mayor of Arab Hebron is an outright murderer. He murdered 6 Jews in 1980, then got released in a prison deal. His name is Tyassir Abu Snena. So Mamdani is, small fries compared to Tyassir Abu Snena. But yeah, we're doing all right here. I'm praying for you now. So the tables are turned.
Yishai, who was the official? I thought it was the mayor, the Arab mayor of Hebron. Who was the one who expressed an interest in becoming part of the Abraham Accords? Wasn't there somebody in Hebron?
No. Yeah, his name is Ashraf Jabri, and he was the kind of representative of the Arabs of Hebron that went to that Bahrain conference a long time ago, the economic conference, Peace to Prosperity, and he's still alive and well. And we have some Arabs that we try to develop our relationship with, and in general, like there's Arab sheikhs now who have said that they don't want to be part of the Palestinian Authority, that they want to join Israel. So there's definitely some murmurings and understandings through the process of this war that their future, they're looking for a better future. Some Arabs, obviously, we have not a little bit of jihadism as well, but there are some Arabs who say jihadism is not going to lead to anything, and so let us be part of Israel because Israel is going to last. And anybody with 2 eyes in their head knows that Israel is on the upswing. This war has only strengthened us in the land. We have opened up new communities in the Mount Hebron area and in Hebron proper. And there's so much chazara b'tshuva. There's so many people yearning for more Yiddishkeit, more Judaism in their life. And so our army is stronger. Our spirit is stronger. Our economy is going to be challenged to pay for this war, but we're going to get through that as well. And we're really, you could feel it. I think the greatest dissonance in this world, the greatest distance between two understandings is the way the outside world sees us and the way Israel is from within. Israel is booming inside. Cafes are full, life energy, women are pregnant, cranes are everywhere. Jerusalem is being built. In the outside world's like, oh my God, they're going to be destroyed any minute now. Far from it. Anybody who has a good sense of what Hashem is doing and just has an open heart, open mind can see that Israel is really going through a renaissance and a rebirth, and it's something awesome to be part of.
How long have you been associated with Hebron and the Hebron Fund?
Oh, I've been associated with Hebron since my birth as a Jewish person, because Abraham, that's his first purchase in the land of Israel, and this is the tomb of our forefathers and mothers. So that's like, all of us are, if you're Jewish or if you love Israel, you're connected to Hebron. Myself, my mom, who was a Russian refusenik, she taught me the majesty of Hebron. And then later on in life, when it was time to get married, I got married at Hebron in 2002 during the height of the Second Intifada. And then I went to work for Arutz Sheva. And then years later, Hebron, my predecessor, the great David Wilder, was leaving his post. And I heard that he was leaving, and I spoke to him, and I spoke to Uri Karzan, and I said, listen, you need me, and I wanted this job, and Hashem put me in this job, and it's been a privilege to work almost 10 years in Hebron.
Your wedding was in Hebron?
Absolutely, 2002. In fact, I humbly tell you that some people credit our wedding as restarting the weddings in Hebron tradition, because it had kind of tapered off given the terrorism that tried to scare us away from Hebron. So my wife and I came from New York City to Hebron to get married in the summer of 2002 on Tu B'Av, Jewish Valentine's Day.
Unbelievable. Yishai Fleischer is with us. The reason I asked about your official relationship with the holy city of Hebron, and we certainly understand the inspiring words about your lifetime association with Hebron, is I'm wondering now, as a real insider, obviously you're dealing with this every single day, what have you learned over the last 10 years about the holy city of Hebron? Is there a lot different than your impression was from years ago before you were a spokesperson for the holy city?
You know, Nachum, that's a fun question. The Torah, the more you learn Torah, you're like, ooh, secret. The Torah reveals itself to you with time. The Torah is like, a woman that you marry. There's more and more kind of secrets that you find out about through the process of being married. And the Torah is like that. The land of Israel is like that. And certainly Hebron, which is like a really ancient city. It's a 4,000-year-old city, and Jewish presence there for 3,800 years. And, there's a lot there. So yeah, it reveals itself to you. And I have to say that in the last few years, it has revealed itself to me even more through projects of beautification at the tomb of Ruth and Ishai. We have put in a lot of effort to beautify it and to renew it. So what was once a hovel is now the number 2 site in Hebron, and I had a big zchut to have a hand in that beautification. And now I have other projects close to Marat HaMachpelah, even inside the Marat HaMachpelah, to beautify it and to make it worthy of what it is, which is the sepulcher of the forefathers and mothers. So there's constant revelations, and I must tell you that since the advent of this war, there's been a lot of innovations and revelations of new places. And when you'll come next time, Nachum, you'll get a VIP tour, and then when you come in the time after that, it'll already be everybody will just be using these places, and it'll be normalized.
Yishai Fleischer is with us. I'm glad you brought this up, because we keep hearing about things that people like yourself want to do in Marat HaMachpelah. To us, as those who are there occasionally, it doesn't seem like it really needs work. What are some of the projects? What are some of the things that you'd like to see transform the Marat in 2025? I have to be circumspect in what I say, because some of the stuff is a little bit under wraps. But basically, Nachum, more accessible, more beautiful.
It's more accessible today. It's more accessible. We have an elevator. We also have wheelchair accessible stuff today. Thank God. A lot of people are very thankful for that. But it's got to be more beautiful, and frankly, it has to be more Jewish, and it has to have more. There's a lot of Muslim coloration to the site. There's a lot of Muslim writings and shapes and all kinds of stuff, and we want to add more Jewish symbolism. I'll give you one example, which is one of the most powerful examples of them all. When I came 10 years ago to Hebron to work, there was no Chanukiah on the corner of the Marat HaMachpelah that you could come and see that it was a Jewish site, and there's no flags of Israel on the Marat HaMachpelah. Today, it is a regular mainstay. The flags don't come off. There's a Chanukiah up there, and it never comes down. It's lit on Hanukkah, but basically, like when you come and look at Marat HaMachpelah today, it looks like a Jewish site. That's a big change.
Yep.
That's a big change. You got to remember that organization like UNESCO was trying to erase the Jewish history of the site and say that it's a Palestinian World Heritage Site. Well, when it's got the flag of Israel on it and it's got a Chanukiah on it, and those things have settled on it, if you can use that language, it changes the whole feeling and atmosphere. And today we have an army that's more with us, and other factors that are helping us add more Jewish themes to the structure. So when you come there, you're like, wow. I'll give you just another example. People used to paint Marat HaMachpelah. When we painted fences and stuff, it would be painted either green or brown. One of the things that I'm demanding, and we're getting it done, is adding more Tzfat Tchelet, the Tchelet color that you see in Tzfat, to Hebron. We added it a lot at Kevrut, the tomb of Ruth and Yishai. I'm going to add it to Marat Machpelah. There's something about that light blue color which says to you, this is Jewish. This is Jewish. And that's part of what the Hebron Fund does. It beautifies the place. It makes it accessible to people. It brings tourism. It educates. And it makes it more welcoming, more Jewish, and more of the touristic attraction that it needs to be. So that's part of what we're doing. You know, we're talking a lot about the new neighborhoods, and we have this amazing new neighborhood. It's mind-blowing. People are just blown away. The video that was made, actually shot by my brother Josh, beautiful video. And you can see that new neighborhood, and it's awesome. But we don't forget also the basics, and the basic thing that we're doing at Marat Machpelah is that we are the protectors and the beautifiers of the site. If we were, non-Jews, we might call ourselves the knights of the Machpelah. That's what we are. We're the knights of the Machpelah. We're there to protect it, to beautify it, and to make it more accessible, and to make it less scary and more awesome. And that's exactly what's happening.
The holy city of Hebron needs our support. It's as simple as that. And this is one of the reasons why we dedicate this hour to today's campaign, because we want to make sure everybody, especially those who are not in Israel, around the world, here in the U.S. and other places, are supporting the city of Hebron as best as possible. The campaign is now active and live at HebronFund.org, Hebron, HebronFund.org. As we said earlier, all donations are doubled. Literally, if you give $180, it's a $360 donation because of generous supporters. And you can call Rabbi Dan or any of his staff members to discuss special projects at 718-677-6886. And Yishai, I think you really hit on a really important point when it comes to this pitch that we continue to make to people who care about Hebron, and that is that if you're looking to support something really practical, building, structures, if you're looking to support and have a hand in our children of Hebron being safer, cameras and equipment, and if you want to just be involved in the spirituality and inspiration of Hebron, a little bit more light blue, a little bit more of a Jewish Marat Machpelah, based on the way you described it earlier, then one could do that as well. So really, there's the entire list of options is open for anybody who wants to be involved in the holy city of Hebron.
Yeah, I agree to that. I would say that there are many excellent projects in Eretz Yisrael, and I'm friend to many of those organizations. But supporting Hebron Fund is a one-stop shop to support Israel writ large through various facets that we do in Hebron. For example, education. We are bringing all of the pre-military academy schools to Hebron to get a tour and get educated. Like, we feed them, we sleep them, we bring them buses, we do so many things just to bring the elite of Israel's next generation, not necessarily religious, to Hebron to get educated. We tour the soldiers. We do so much. Oh, we strengthen the soldier's life. Dan Rosenstein, he's like the head of the Hebron Fund. He's so busy. And then on Fridays, he runs around giving challahs to soldiers so they can have a nice Shabbos feeling. You want to support soldiers? Hebron Fund. You want to support Israeli education to teach them Bible and connection to the land? Hebron Fund. You want to beautify the land of Israel? Hebron Fund. You want security for families? It's all the same. It's a one-stop shop for a lot of great things. And if you want to give a challah to a soldier, that's also, you want more tchelet and Marat Machpelah, all these things come together, and we're very proud of that. We're very proud of that. At the same time, it's not like we're like, I have to say this, it's not like we're like totally winning out there. You know what I mean? The haters are strong. There's 200,000 Arabs in Hebron. The mayor is a murderer. There's Euro cooperation with the jihad everywhere around us. Doctors Without Borders and all kinds of evil folks driving around trying to take away our sovereignty. So, like, don't misunderstand. On the one hand, we're rocking it. We're doing a lot of good things. On the other hand, let's be real. Like, Marat Machpelah could use a facelift. We need more garbage collection. We got jihad all around us. We're basically living inside of Gaza vis-a-vis Hebron. So both are true. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to get the wrong impression as though like everything is honky-dory. Far from it. We need a lot of help. We're fighting. We do good campaigns, but it's not like the state of Israel is like Hebron is like number one. We're going to support it like we support Tel Aviv. Far from it. Far from it. We need a lot of help because it makes a big difference. And we have a real war in our hands. It's a militarized city. Lots of soldiers to just keep the bad guys from our throats. And so therefore, when you're supporting Hebron, you're also supporting the defense of the Jewish people, holding on to our rights against a huge tsunami of hate and challenges that we face globally.
HebronFund.org, Hebron, Hebron, fund.org, HebronFund.org. Every donation you give today is doubled to further impact your donation to the Hebron Fund. Yishai, I'm assuming you're very much looking forward to next Shabbat.
Let's be honest. On the one hand, Chai Sarah is like a magnum opus of Jewish sovereignty and Jewish faith, and there is nothing, Nachum, and you know this well. There is nothing like reading the parsha of the purchase of Martha Machpelah right at the foot of Martha Machpelah or inside the building. You just you connected heaven and earth. You connected the Torah to the people, to the land, to the God above in one shot, and you get some kind of zap of synergy and organic oneness. Okay, so that's on the one hand. On the other hand, for people who work in the project of bringing 40,000 people to Hebron on that Shabbos, it is quite a heavy load. And I'll be honest with you, when it's done, we breathe a sigh of relief. We were able to pull it off. So, both are true. It's an awesome, amazing experience. It's a zchut to be like Avraham and to welcome people as guests in Hebron. And when everybody leaves, and we can have a little Shmini Atzeret where it's just us, and we say Baruch Hashem, we finished that thing. Then that's also a good feeling.
Well, isn't it heartwarming knowing how many people want to see you? Isn't that heartwarming?
Yes, it's quite heartwarming. It's also warming my WhatsApp. Everybody's writing to me. Do you have a space for me? Do you have a space for me? And okay, listen. The truth is part of what Hebron Fund does is we actually do a VIP hosting in Hebron, right, for Parsha Chai Sarah. It's 5-star Hebron. It's like 3-star somewhere else. But we really do our best to feed people, bring you the great guests. And this year we're going to have Tzvika Moore and some of the heroes that have fought this war and have suffered through this war, and many other important people are going to come and eat with us and dine with us. And Rabbi Dan's the MC of the whole thing. So it's a very special gathering. And Simcha Hachbaum is there, and Yoni's there, and all this amazing group of people. So yeah, we love Chai Sarah. My kids love it, but at the same time, it's a responsibility for 40,000 people coming to your place, and you want to look nice. And there's police, and there's army, and there's drones, and there's dancing, and it's really an amazing zchut to do it. And B'ezrat Hashem, we'll do that. We'll right after we finish with Chai Sarah, we'll all go to the Beit HaMikdash in Yerushalayim. Hebron knows its place. It's the tomb of the forefathers and mothers. It's a community that pushes against jihadism, and yet we all pray towards Yerushalayim, towards that day that there's going to be a Beit HaMikdash in Yerushalayim. And we're working on that as well.
Yishai Fleischer and I encourage everybody to give and give generously. HebronFund.org. HebronFund.org. Today is the day. There's also a phone number, 718-677-6886. The campaign officially ends tomorrow. We want today to be as strong as possible. And remember, every time you give, every donation is doubled. So, for example, if someone would give $180, that would be a $360 donation due to the generosity of the sponsors of the campaign. You give $500, it's really $1,000. The impact you can have is immense. Go to HebronFund.org, HEBRON Fund.org. Dial 718-677-6886. And again, for today, don't lose sight of the fact that every donation you give is doubled. Yishai Kol HaKavod, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Kol HaKavod, and good luck in that little election thing that you're having over there.
Appreciate it. You better be in touch with me after that.
Everybody should buy an apartment in Israel soon. Okay.
Amen to that. More coming up. Rabbi Dan is going to join us to wrap up this hour, this very special campaign hour. Keep it right here at JM in the AM.
חברון, עיר האבות שלנו לדורי דורות, מאז לעד ולתמיד, לנצח נצחים. חברון, עיר האבות שלנו לדורי דורות, מאז לעד ולתמיד, לנצח נצחים. באלוני ממרא זה לא היה מקרה שאברהם אבינו קנה חלקת אדמה, והוא ידע שטוב עשה שתבוא לה השעה שעם ישראל שלו יהיה בשעת צרה. חברון עיר האבות.
That's Deddy's version of Hebron. A lot of great Jewish music stars have sung about the holy city of Hebron. And today we're asking everybody to toss in some support for the holy city of Hebron. We've learned a lot over the last 55 minutes. We've learned that Hebron continues to expand. The Jewish community of Hebron continues to expand at a rate that they've never enjoyed before, which is amazing, including the area next to Tel Romeda, including the Avram Avinu neighborhood, including a lot of the places you've seen before, but their footprint, the Jewish footprint in the holy city of Hebron, is larger than ever and growing faster than ever. Obviously, security needs is something that's, unfortunately, something that's always going to be needed in Hebron. And those of you out there who have a specific project or a specific initiative in mind, you could discuss that with Rabbi Dan and get that going. The address, the link, the campaign web page is hebronfund.org. hebronfund.org. And today is the day to have every donation doubled. And today is the day to really get our friends in Hebron off to an amazing start with this year-end campaign. Again, hebronfund.org. Be as generous as possible. Remember, every single donation is doubled. Every single donation is matched. Rabbi Dan Rosenstein is with us. He's, of course, Executive Director of the Hebron Fund. Rabbi Dan, welcome back to JM in the AM.
It's great. Aren't my colleagues the best?
You work with some remarkable people. They're not just good spokespeople, but they are. You could tell how much their heart is into it. You could tell how much they care about the Jewish people, present and future and past.
Well, it's because of their boss. Avram Avinu doesn't let us sleep. And when you're working for him, that means you work the Israeli day and the American day. And thank God we're seeing a lot of hatzlacha, a lot of success. We appreciate your listeners who, over the course of this last 50-something minutes, have been pouring in donations, calling the office. Two people messaged us that they want to take on a security project. So thanks for that plug.
You know, and by the way, and I'm not minimizing the security projects. You and I know how important they are. But the beautification projects, the parks, the playgrounds, areas next to apartment buildings and caravans that are necessary for families just to be able to enjoy, all those are worthwhile projects as well.
Yeah, listen, I mean, are you trying to decide whether you're going to move into the caravan or into the coach bus over there? You know, it's not even like the neighbors are it's not even like a baseball's throw away to the mosque. It's like a spitball's throw, as well as the school next door. And yeah, we need to put in a playground over there, which is not like your backyard swing set. That's commercial grade. That means AstroTurf on the floor. That means not even plain AstroTurf. The families want to have stuff that if God forbid the kid falls off, that they're really protected, not fake protected.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to save money, but at the same time, safety first. We want to be able to bring soldiers up there to the playground so that they can have exercise equipment over there, work out outside. We have good weather in Hebron most of the year. And these are projects that I'm fortunate because I'm able to be there in Hebron. I'm able to touch and feel and make sure that this stuff actually happens. Sometimes you send money to Israel, you're not exactly sure where it's going, but as you could tell from all four of us here, you know exactly where it's going. And really making a difference for the people of Hebron, for the visitors of Hebron, for the soldiers of Hebron, and quite frankly, for the people of Israel and everyone that visits Israel. Because once Hebron is strong, that strengthens the entire country.
How long ago did you start distributing chalot to soldiers?
It's actually an interesting story. We started shortly before October 7th, because we'd actually served the challahs at basically we started right before October 7th, about a month before, and we started that in at the same time that we started expanding our home hospitality program, where residents will cook and invite soldiers for Shabbat.
Wow.
Which really makes a big difference. For some of them, it's their first real Shabbat.
Sure.
And but after October 7th, a couple of things happened, which to me, stick with me. It's a bit painful, but on the one hand, one of the women who expanded onto her mirpeset was having like 30 soldiers a week, 40 soldiers a week, somehow, little kids plopping down up and down on top of the chayalot and whatever. And I called her after October 7th to see, I don't know, can we continue? It's after October 7th. We had already funded her a lot for the Yom Tov meals and everything like that. And she could barely talk. She's like, Don, I need tzarich limchok mea telephone shali shloshim. She had to remove 30 contacts from her phone of soldiers that have come through Hebron, eaten in her house, that still kept in touch with her, that were killed on October 7th.
Oh my gosh.
So that was painful. And then we're doing challah deliveries to all of the every single Shabbos we deliver, not usually me, to the IDF bases, the outposts. Now we just included the families up on the hill by Tel Rameda, because they're hosting soldiers as well. And I've gone around to the soldiers. They're just sitting in a random outpost, or if I have to get onto a base for whatever reason, I mention, maybe you get the challahs. They're like, oh, there's the challah guy. I said, first of all, I'm not the challah guy. It's donors that are donating on through JM and the AM and on the HebronFund.org page. But I asked, does it make a difference? They said it makes all the difference, and they look forward to it all week, and it gives them a lot of koach, and they want to send messages to the people in America how much they appreciate it. The 1 week where we couldn't do it with the guy, the baker, lost his nephew in that terrible attack in January last year, and so he was sitting shiva with his brother-in-law, and so the soldiers were writing him messages angry, oh, you forgot about us, our base didn't get this week, this, that, whatever. But we see that makes a big difference.
Wow.
So you think, oh, I'm just going to send in $100 because not Seagulls. And it's important. No, it really makes on the soldiers and on Jewish lives. And now we just have this unprecedented opportunity to expand Hebron, to put in a new playground, to put in security cameras, to put in floodletting, to bring more visitors. And we couldn't wait until after Chayei Sarah. Believe me, I'm plenty busy with Chayei Sarah. We have people flying in that we take very good care of them. I'm not looking for more people to come on Chayei Sarah unless it's you. Or if someone really wants to, help us out, thank God we have a strong registration, but we're really, really, we really need to do this campaign now before Chayei Sarah with everything else going on, because we need to help these families right now. We can't wait.
New families are moving into this new neighborhood in Hebron, as described over the last hour. You could actually watch a video at HebronFund.org and meet these families virtually and see just how committed they are to the future of the Jewish people and, of course, the future of the Jewish community of Hebron. As we said earlier when Yoni was on, and as Dan just mentioned, they have many security needs, including cameras and flood lighting, that are so important for these homes that are new homes for families in Hebron as they continue to expand and rejuvenate the holy city. So please do what you can by giving. There's so many good reasons to give and to make this a robust campaign, as we've been outlining. Go to HebronFund.org, HEBRON Fund.org, HEBRON Fund.org. Those of you who are active on social media, this is the type of link you want to put on your Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter feeds. This is the type of thing you want to introduce to your friends and family. Let them participate in today's event of the Hebron Fund campaign. Every single dollar, every single shekel that's given to this campaign is doubled. Every single dollar is doubled, so that your 180 becomes 360 and your 500 becomes 1,000. Yet another good reason to participate in this campaign. It ends tomorrow. We want to make it as successful as possible. HebronFund.org, HEBRON Fund.org. Those of you who are looking for special projects, and there's always special things, as Dan and I have outlined over the last hour. 718-677-6886, 718-677-6886. Dan Rosenstein, a pleasure spending this time with you.
Thank you, Nachum. Really, really exciting, and thank you for all your support, and thank you to all of your amazing listeners. And I remind you to please go to HebronFund.org, HebronFund.org, and there's a link there where you can participate. Please share it on your WhatsApp status, on your social media. Tell your friends this is the time to help Israel like we've never done before.
100%. Thank you very much, Rabbi Dan. Rabbi Dan Rosenstein is Executive Director of the Hebron Fund, HEBRON Fund.org, HEBRON Fund.org. Every dollar you give is doubled. It is matched. This would be an amazing opportunity to make sure to support and to strengthen the holy city of Hebron and the Jewish community of Hebron as much as possible. Our brothers and sisters in Israel, we are with you. It's your favorite America's one and only Jewish Moments in the Morning radio program. Heard and listeners-sponsored digital radio. Around the world, the web at NachumSegal.com and the Nachum Segal Network, and, of course, on the beloved NSN app.